Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome. It's amazing. The theater is full of people coming from all over the world. You are coming from North America, Asia Pacific, Middle East, Europe, for this great event that we all were expecting, the world premiere of the new Pagani, the Project C10. But in a while, we'll discover the new name of this new hypercar by Pagani. Welcome in Milano. You are in the heart of cultural life in Italy. Milano is a town where is melting tradition, future, technical, innovation. Milano is the town who inspired so much Leonardo da Vinci, the symbol of Italian Renaissance. Sculptor, designer, artist, painter, architect, engineer, Leonardo da Vinci that so much inspired the works of Orazio Pagani throughout all his life. Here you have art, but you have also music, of course. You are in Teatro Lirico. We wanted you here because Teatro Lirico is one of the most important theater lirico in Italy. It was founded 1 year after the La Scala di Milano. So many world premieres were hosted in this theater, for example, the Elisir d'Amore by Gaetano Donizetti, and tonight a very special premiere, which has a lot to do with music. But now I want here on the stage with me our host, Orazio Pagani. They are all here for you.
Allora, grazie a tutti per essere venuti qua da ogni parte del mondo. La Pagani il prossimo anno fa 25 anni. In questo viaggio si sono aggiunti sempre più integranti alla famiglia, perciò io voglio oggi ringraziare la mia famiglia che ha creduto in questa idea, in questi progetti e mi ha aiutato. Voglio ringraziare gli amici, i maestri, gli esempi. Stasera sono presenti anche in sala Giorgetto Giugiaro, Ernesto Colnago, dei personaggi che hanno fatto delle storie incredibili e ognuna della vostra vita è una storia. Voglio ringraziare i giornalisti che hanno fatto conoscere il nostro lavoro al mondo, raccontando l'emozione, raccontando la guida, ecco. E voglio ringraziare la mia seconda famiglia, che sono tutti i miei colleghi di lavoro, i ragazzi senza i quali le nostre macchine non sarebbero possibili, ragazzi che sono tutti là sopra. Io voglio anche ringraziare ragazzi che lavorano con la testa, col cuore e con delle mani molto, molto abilidose. Lascio a te.
Well, of course, Mr. Pagani, I want to thank you for coming here from all over the world. And of course, he has to remind you that next year Pagani will celebrate his 25th anniversary. It was a long journey, not always easy, but it was a journey that brought us here with this new car. So it was a journey that could become to this point, thanks to many people. First of all, he has to thank, of course, his family that is here. He has to thank all you, the customers, the dealers, all these people that made the dream come true, because you inspired most of the Pagani. You inspired the cars that are made by the Pagani. And he's thanking also people that inspired the automotive world, like, for example, Giorgetto Giugiaro and other guests that are here tonight. Then he wants to thank, of course, the journalists, all the colleagues that were so good in reporting and writing and telling stories about the emotions of driving the Pagani, telling the emotions of driving to those that maybe could never drive a Pagani. And then he has to thank the second family, a very important family, all the people working in Pagani that are here with us. They are above. And all these guys and all these people that are working every day with their brain, with their mind, with the hands, and with the heart. And working made possible, really, a dream. And so, thank you.
Ho fatto venire tutti i ragazzi che oggi non hanno lavorato, perciò le vostre macchine, quelle che stiamo costruendo oggi, sono ferme.
Okay, don't be angry, because actually, as I told you, all the guys are here, so your cars are, well, they are not working on your cars today, so you must be patient.
Le ho fatto venire soprattutto per applaudire.
Oh, it's the clack.
E se non applaudono non prendono lo stipendio questo mese.
Okay, good. All the good...
Traduci.
All the good directors have a very good clack. But actually, Orazio, I said in the Teatro Lirico, which is so important, actually I have to tell you that this theater has been closed for 22 years. So it's just been reopened after a very long restoration time. So it's a real privilege to be here. And I see there is a piano. What's going on? Why?
Allora, mia mamma era un'artista bravissima a dipingere, suonava il pianoforte. Mio papà era un fornaio, però durante il weekend aveva un'orchestra jazz e suonava la tromba, perciò siamo cresciuti in un ambiente, diciamo, dove l'arte un pochettino si respirava, ecco. Io non sono mai riuscito a studiare il pianoforte, perché era un'imposizione che studiasse il pianoforte, però mi divertivo a suonarlo. Poi quando nella mia officina ho comprato un pianoforte che addirittura l'ho truccato perché suonasse più forte, insomma l'ho elaborato, ho fatto un tuning del pianoforte e poi mi divertivo a comporre della musica così come la sentivo. Stiamo parlando degli anni '80. Ma non so nemmeno dove sono le note nel pianoforte, perciò è stata una cosa un pochettino da autodidatta. Però registravo tutto in un piccolo Aiwa, in un registratore, e perciò, diciamo, la sorpresa stasera è anche questo.
Okay, Mr. Pagani is telling us something about his youth. So when he was a kid, he was not such a good student, but luckily he was very good at something else. And actually, his mother was an artist. She liked painting. She was a good pianist. And the father had a bakery, but he was also a musician. He had a jazz band. He used to play trumpet. So he was born in the music. And actually, even if it was not such a good student and he never officially studied piano, he enjoyed playing piano. He knew how to play, even not knowing the notes. And he liked to play first at home, and then when he was starting to build cars, he took a piano there, and he was just composing something, some melodies, without actually knowing what he was doing, but he was composing, playing, and recording. And this is part of the surprise of tonight. So now we are all curious. Do we want to listen to Mr. Pagani playing? Yeah.
Okay.
The new Utopia has come. The new car, hypercar, by Orazio Pagani. Pagani Automobili, world premiere of the new Utopia. It was really, really a great emotion with your music, your car, and your music. And I have to ask here on the stage with me the direttrice del conservatorio, Cristina Frosini, Pietro Mianiti, direttore dell'orchestra. Orazio, must have been a great emotion, emozionante sentire la propria musica su questa macchina. But we are all curious, why Utopia? Why the name?
Allora, Utopia è un viaggio verso un qualcosa di ideale, no? Perciò quando uno comincia a disegnare una vettura o qualcosa che dura anche diversi anni, questo progetto è iniziato 6 anni fa, in quel momento tu devi cercare di volare con la fantasia, perciò questo è stato anche il messaggio che ho trasmesso a tutti i ragazzi del team, senza dirle però che si sarebbe chiamata Utopia, perché il nome si è visto lì nel video. In realtà quello l'abbiamo fatto per il video, ma il nome l'ho scritto appena cominciai a fare i primi sketch in camera mia dove ho il tavolo di disegno. Perciò l'idea di Utopia era questo viaggio verso l'immaginario, verso un qualcosa di ideale. Poi se ci siamo riusciti o meno a fare un qualcosa di ideale non lo so, però è un qualcosa che poi credo che ogni cliente potrà immaginare, continuare a vivere anche nel momento in cui facciamo le vetture per loro, insomma andiamo a creare questi vestiti su misura, perciò questo è un pochettino il senso.
Okay, Utopia, because Utopia was a journey towards something that is ideal, something that is a dream. You have to fly and to reach something that you really wish, really want. And actually, Mr. Pagani said that at the very beginning, this was what he was trying to explain to all the team that was imagining the car, even if he didn't say that in his mind he had this name Utopia, that as you could say he was writing at the very beginning, but it was a secret for everyone at the very beginning. But the idea was of this journey towards something ideal. And this journey says it will go on, because now we have this Utopia, but this journey towards something that is ideal will go on for each customer, because of course each one will have his own dream, so each one will fly towards something ideal with this car. And I know you don't like too much to talk about the car, but the shapes and the style, but actually this is very unique, this car. What about the style? What about the shape? What were you trying to get out of it?
Allora, intanto dovevamo cercare di creare una Pagani, forse questo non serve. No. Dovevamo fare una macchina che continuasse, questa è il terzo modello dopo Sonda e Guaira, questa è la terza macchina, perciò c'era molta attesa da parte dei clienti, anche da parte dei fans, perciò il design della macchina, le specifiche della macchina sono nate insieme ai nostri clienti. Noi abbiamo cercato di raccogliere quelli che erano i loro desideri, cioè magari loro non se ne rendevano conto quando io parlavo in questi ultimi 7-8 anni di quello che poteva essere la macchina, ma io cercavo sempre di andare a indagare, no? Per capire qual era il loro desiderio. Perciò è un disegno nato a diverse mani, okay? Insieme anche a loro. E la macchina doveva essere comunque morbida, sinuosa e oggi questa vettura si conforma a tutti gli standard più alti per quanto riguarda la sicurezza, per quanto riguarda l'inquinamento. Perciò diciamo che c'è una parte scientifica e c'è anche una parte artistica. Leonardo ci ha insegnato che possiamo metterle insieme.
Okay, at the very first beginning, of course it should be a Pagani, but it should be a new Pagani. This is the Pagani of a new era. This is the third Pagani. officially. So it should respect the Pagani philosophy, but it should be also be new. And he was just listening for years, for the last 7, 8 years, to all the suggestions and the wishes of all the customers. What did they really want from a new Pagani? And actually, this is what was born, because this car is new, but it's a Pagani. This car is technologically has the highest standard, but this car is fluent, is curvaceous, it has this very special smoothness. So it's new from this point of view, but it's new also from the technological point of view, with all the highest standard also of safety and everything. So it's really like what Leonardo da Vinci used to do. So the innovation, the creativity, innovation, and future all melting together. And what about the interior?
Ancora un commento sull'esterno.
Okay, something else about outside?
Una delle prime cose che ho immaginato era una macchina con delle ruote molto grandi, molto alte, imponenti. Perciò ho incontrato i nostri partner di Pirelli, che sono presenti anche qui oggi, e sono stato un po' brutale perché l'ho detto: voglio una ruota che sia così più alta di quella che abbiamo adesso, cioè 50 mm più alta. Ma come così più alta? Poi quando sono stati fatti tutti i calcoli, ok, è stata una buona idea anche per trasmettere meglio la coppia, ma la macchina con le ruote grosse, grandi, dava anche, era più importante, più cattiva, ecco.
Yeah, actually, we spoke about the softness or curvaceousness of the car, but actually there is a detail that she would like to point out, because you see these huge tires. This is something he really wanted from the very beginning, something that could be, had more impact. And so he was working and asking to the partner of Pirelli, which are here and the greats, of course, and he asked Pirelli, I want higher tires. I want higher tires for the car, because this is really something fundamental for the car, and they managed to do it.
Importante anche raccontare che per arrivare a questo abbiamo fatto 4-5 mila disegni di stile, 10 modelli in scala, 2 modelli scala 1-1 e 8 prototipi. Perciò il percorso è stato un percorso lungo, dove abbiamo veramente cercato di lavorare e affinare i dettagli, cioè il team veramente ha lavorato in un modo incredibile. Delle volte eravamo anche, devo dire, stanchi di modificare, di cambiare, ma perché dobbiamo ripartire a fare questo solo per farlo 2, 3, 4 mm più alto qui, più basso là? Però almeno ci siamo impegnati per raggiungere questa utopia. Ecco, poi ripeto, speriamo che il cliente lo apprezzi.
Yeah, Horacio is saying, you see the car here, but actually it took such a long time to get to that. More than 5,000 sketches and building and rebuilding, 8 prototypes, real prototypes, 10 models that were like the car, and they were changing details and thinking about it and rethinking. And at the very end, with the really many years of tough job, they got the car, they got the Utopia, and he said, I don't know if we managed to give the dream and to reach the dream, but actually they did their best.
Mi chiedevi degli interni?
Yes.
Yes, ok. Allora, gli interni dovevano essere con meno roba digitale possibile. Il nostro cliente voleva qualcosa di molto analogico, ne approfitto e apro la porta. Voleva qualcosa di analogico e perciò abbiamo lavorato molto per cercare di raggiungere dei risultati con questo. E poi il mio collega Anne Sanon racconterà anche tutta la parte del cambio, eccetera. Però un interno molto luminoso e spazioso, per quanto sembra piccolo, tutto molto alla portata di mano, senza dover andare, come capita spesso adesso, a capire qual è il touch che deve stare a spingere. È pieno di piccoli particolari, pieno di piccoli dettagli che man mano il cliente potrà scoprire.
Well, inside the car is so much light and so much space, and I think you can see also from there. And actually, one of the most important characteristics that they realized it because they were listening to the wishes of the customers is that this car is really an experience of analog driving, like kind of going back to the past, because today cars have too much digitalization, and they managed to make a hypercar that is a futuristic hypercar with all the technology of the future, but that has not so much digital stuff inside, lot of analog experience, like all the customers were asking. And actually, now someone else will explain exactly the car in detail. But this was really something that they wanted to reach, and there are so many details that you will find out in experiencing the car. Quindi, Orazio, now we have to let someone else describe the car a little more, but are you happy with it? Are you happy with tonight? È andato tutto bene? Tu sei contento della macchina?
Sì, sì, siamo contenti. Abbiamo lavorato con impegno, perciò dobbiamo essere felici di quello che abbiamo fatto e cominciare a prepararci per le nuove avventure.
Yeah,
ecco.
it's just thinking about a new adventure. So thank you, Orazio.
Grazie, grazie.
And now I really want to have you here on stage to know something else about the car, more in details, because Orazio doesn't like to speak too much about details and about the beauty of the car, but I want here on stage with me Mr. Hannes Zanon, direttore commerciale di Pagani Automobile.
Thank you, Sabina. Thank you, Orazio. Well, I won't bore you too much with numbers. There would be too many to talk about in this car. But it's not really about the numbers. It's about the emotion. And let me start by just describing the environment our team has actually developed this car into. Nowadays, with the push to digitalization and to further safety-relevant aspects, which are absolutely needed in the broader scheme of things, we find ourselves with the human element taken out. So the machines are taking over, because the machines don't fail, apparently, so this is why the role of the human is constrained. Now, right from the start, we wanted to bring the human element back into that car. And why is that so much of a challenge? It's a challenge because a computer expects something clear to happen. A human made out of flesh and blood has a different mood every day. Maybe he wants to drive the car in a different way. We are all individuals, and we really wanted to place the individual inside the car. And that's the challenge that sports car manufacturers will have also in the future. So we start with a big V12 engine, which we've developed together with Mercedes-AMG. It's a Pagani V12. There is no AMG V12 in their cars. It's bespokely made just for Pagani. It's a B-turbocharged 6-liter engine, putting out 864 horsepower and 1,100 Newton meters of torque. Now that in itself isn't telling you a lot. However, there was one particular request so many clients have asked us to develop, and we were not sure that this was achievable with a machine this powerful, which was to bring back the manual gearbox. So here it is, actually featured in this Utopia, a manual 7-speed gated gearbox. It is a pure mechanical manual. So you will feel the selector, you will feel the synchronizers working, and you will feel that click when the gear is engaged in the shifter. Makes for a very, very emotional driving experience. For those who want to chase the lap times on the racetrack, there is an AMT version with pedal shifts available, which will, of course, be much quicker than the manual. She's a beauty, isn't she? But there's so much going on in this car. Just think of the fact that in terms of downforce, this sleek shape generates as much downforce as the Wyra Roadster BC, which currently still holds the lap record for road cars at the infamous Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. Where it is unrivaled is in terms of aerodynamic efficiency, the way it cuts through the air. And this is really a work that the team has made by spending a year in the wind tunnel in order to hone this shape to perfection so that it would be efficient, it would have the downforce, but it would look elegant like this. A few little details you will spot here and there. The more you look at the car, the more you will discover, and that is really the beauty, we believe. One we will spoil for you today, which is this Aeroblade carbon fiber wheel. This actually allows us to extract heat and air from the wheel arches, improving obviously the cooling, but also significantly enhancing the downforce of the vehicle as well. We talked so much about details about music, details about engineering. The suspension of the Pagani Utopia is actually a suspension that we have tested on the Wyra R. So it runs at every one of our Arte in Pista weekends with clients at the racetrack, and it's put to the most extreme tests. Same suspension is fitted here. So this has a race car suspension. But it's not uncomfortable. It is also a car for a very nice cruise. It makes for a very good GT, for a very good Grand Tourer. Last but not least, what is important about Pagani, what has been important since the first car, since the Zonda, it was weight. Weight kills the fun, weight kills safety. We want to be as light as possible. So this car features in the structural pieces of the center monocoque all the innovations that Pagani has developed over the past few years. We have the Cabo Titanium, which now can be even spec'd by the client to cover the whole roof section of the car, so everything can be made in visible Cabo Titanium. And underneath the skin, obviously, the various Carboc Triax composites which Pagani has developed and which make this chassis so uniquely stiff. But not just the chassis, even the bodywork. The bodywork is now 38% stiffer than it used to be, which allowed us really to take weight out of the car. And in the end, we ended up with a car that weighs 1,280 kilograms. It's one of the lightest production vehicles available today. And it is globally certified. It can be sold everywhere in the world. So what is Utopia? Is it a old school GT with a manual gearbox? Is it a bang up-to-date racing car? We leave it up to you. You are our clients. Let this car take you to your own personal utopia. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have with us Christopher Pagani. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you.
Because we have a long night.
Yes, I would like to thank Hannes. I would like to thank everybody again for being here tonight. We've seen my father playing the piano, which is very special also for me. That doesn't happen a lot, so he was very nervous about doing this, but we've been able to get him to be comfortable in doing it. We, of course, unveiled this beauty. It is always an emotion to see it every day, to talk to the designers, to go through the factory. Everything was hidden, so it was always a surprise to see it. And I think it's beautiful to share it with us, with all of you tonight. What we want to share, it's not only the car. So, as we know, we are in Milan, a very special place for Orazio, a very special place for Leonardo da Vinci. This is where he was the most creative in the Renaissance, in where he was spending his time here. So what we want you to experience is something that we've worked very hard to achieve. We were able to bring back 6 original drawings from the Atlantic Code of Leonardo da Vinci that were hidden in a vault in Milan. So tonight, I know everybody is going to be willing to spend a lot of time with the car, but I want you to experience something that comes from the 1500s, something that is original, that has been done by Leonardo da Vinci, and you will be so close to that you will be part of history. So I want you to go and see it and look at it with your eyes. We have such a strong relationship with Leonardo. I wake up in the morning and I see my father reading about Leonardo, always telling me new stories about him. So I think this is also an opportunity to share with all of you why Leonardo is so important. And also, again, we've spoken about the great group that we have tonight and what we've done at the Museum of Leonardo da Vinci here in Milan was possible thanks to a strong team. So, of course, people here at Pagani, people at the museum, we really need to thank everybody that has worked with us to bring this back from a very hidden vault in Milan. These drawings, they will be in an exhibition for 2 weeks. What happens after the 2 weeks, they will be brought back to the vault for 3 years, which means that you have the very lucky opportunity to spend a few moments with them. And this is, again, thanks to the Leonardo da Vinci Museum, to the Ambrosiana in Milan, and also to Pietro Marani, who is the Leonardo expert that has been working with my father on this. So you will see this car at the museum tonight, where we're going to have dinner. You'll find also a second Utopia, which has a completely different spec, so we want to then go over and check which one you like the most. But now, we're just halfway.
Yeah, we are halfway. We have a wonderful night to spend together. So we have a kind of tips to go on, but
yes,
actually really keep on enjoying the car, the night, and Milano.
Thank you for all of you for being here.
Thank you.